Good morning, our honorable lecturers. Today we want to present about our final project, the impact of government-backed credits or KUR on the income of micro, small, and medium enterprises as an empirical study in Bandung, Indonesia. So my name is Juan Christofel Thio, alongside with my team Adi Ahmad Hidayat and Darrell Rayyan S. As an introductions, Indonesia's national development is dedicated to advancing its public welfare, but our economic fragility is proved in the COVID era. So we found that MSME is actually an economic savior. As the leading sectors, they form or playing a crucial role in creating jobs, reducing poverty, and driving the nation's recovery. So the problem is currently they got low income. A lot of them has inadequate business legality as well as weak entrepreneurial competency, but the most fatal problem is the limited capital or limited money. And the current implementations, the government has implemented the KUR program, which has affected a lot of MSMEs in Bandung specifically. But we still cannot measure, or there are limited research on the measurement of impacts of this KUR program for the MSME or on MSME's performance in Bandung, particularly in terms of profitability, productivity, and sustainability. So the problem statement is the MSME is crucial for Indonesia's economic growth, yet many still face limited capital that hinders business development and income growth. Although there are government credits which try to address this issue, but the impact in MSME still varies, and we need to do a research for that. And we're using two variables. The first one is the distributions of the KUR itself, and also the MSME's income as the second variable or as the dependent variable. The null hypothesis, we think that KUR distributions has no significant effect on MSME's profitability, while the alternate hypothesis, we believe that KUR distributions has a significant effect on MSME's profitability. So why MSMEs? As we have been said, that MSMEs is a backbone of Indonesia's current economy. And why Bandung? Because Bandung is closest scope we can do a study or a research, while it doesn't negate the validity due to a lot of MSMEs present in Bandung, around 13,000 MSMEs or more. And we also provide the data that can amplify our research in the right side of the poster.
Next, I'll explain our literature review and our methodology. The definitions of banks, KUR, MSMEs, and income can be seen in the poster. Her findings are mixed. Evidence from Italy shows public credits can improve profitability, while in Southeastern European, the impact is not significant, suggesting that firms may use credit mainly to scale rather than to raise margins. With large KUR disbursement in West Java and Bandung, the income impact on local MSMEs is still understudied, and that is our research gap. Our big question is, to what extent does KUR distribution influence MSMEs' income in Bandung? In research, we use a positivist quantitative approach with a cross-sectional survey design. The population is MSMEs owners in Bandung who have received KUR, but because they are hard to reach and we can't access secondary data from banks, we apply non-probability sampling, purposive sampling to target verified KUR recipients, then followed by snowball sampling to expand the pool. Data are collected through a structured online questionnaire using Google Form. We measure two things, with multiple Likert-scale items that are adapted from prior studies. One, KUR distribution, which captures access and use of government-backed credit. Two, MSME income, which reflects earnings from core business activities. We perform instrument checks. Item validity is confirmed using the corrected item total correlations that exceed the required threshold. Then the reliability is supported by Chromebox alpha values above 0.6, which indicates internal consistency. Then we test the classical assumptions. Independence tested with the Durbin-Watson statistic, normality tested with QQ plots and the Shapiro-Wilk test, and the linearity plus homoscedasticity tested using residual plots. All assumptions are satisfied. Thus, we proceed with simple linear regression at the 5% significance level, modeling MSME income as a function of KUR distribution. The regression coefficient shows the direction and the size of KUR's effect, while the R-squared indicates how much variation in income the model explains. In short, this design provides a clear and reliable test of whether KUR translates into higher MSME earnings in Bandung.
So I will explain the results of our data analysis. We begin with the validity and reliability test. All the research items showed correlation values above the required threshold, and Cronbench alpha values were higher than 0.6. This confirms that the instruments used in this study are both valid and reliable, so we can confidently proceed to the next stage. Moving on to the assumption test, the Durbin-Watson statistic of 1.568 indicated independence of residuals. The QQ plot and Shapiro test also confirmed normality, while the scatter plot of residuals showed random distribution and constant variance. In other words, the assumption of independence, normality, linearity, and homoscedasticity were all satisfied, which allows us to continue with simple linear regression. Now, looking at the regression result, the analysis shows a positive and significant relationship between core distribution and MSME income. The regression equation is y equals 2.371 plus 0.455x, which means that MSME income starts at 2.371 when core is 0 and increase by 0.455 for each additional unit of core distribution. In short, the better the provision of core, the higher the income of MSMEs. The model explains about 19.8% of the variation in MSME income, which suggests that while core has a meaningful effect, but other factors also play a role. It is also important to note that most of our respondents came from the food and beverage sector and had been operating for more than 6 years. This shows that the core program is reaching established business in key sectors of the local economy. Finally, from these findings, we can draw some recommendations. For the government, they should expand and ease access to the core. And for the banks, they should strengthen distribution and support MSMEs with financial literacy. And for the MSMEs itself, they should use core effectively for productive investment. And for the future studies, they should explore other variables that may influence MSMEs income. Overall, these results highlight that core distribution is statistically significant and contributes to improving MSME performance and economic resilience, especially in Bandung.